Hello everybody, Dante's Game Room back here. This time this is going to be a watercolor travel journal review from the dollar store. I picked this up a little while ago. There's my painting of Rick. I did two little sketches here and inked them, so I'm actually going to use dollar store like paints, watercolors on one, and then I'm going to see how this paper reacts to like more expensive like Winsor and Newton, and see how it looks, see how the paper, whether it buckles or not. But something interesting I noticed about this paper, most of my like watercolor paper journals, the texture is the same on each side, so it's not a big problem. But the way this thing is bound is like it's like stapled in, like, threaded in the middle right here, and it's texture here and texture here. So the back of these pages doesn't have any texture. Now I know some people that actually prefer to paint on the back of the textured paper, but I always paint on the textured side. And like I will use my other journal, like my cotton paper one, and I will be able to draw like connecting pictures on each side, and it'd be like one piece. This, like, you're only going to get like three of those that you can do that with, because the next paper that's connected isn't like connected to the next paper, if that makes any sense. But so I'm going to paint these two things, and then I'm going to give you my feelings on these how this Dollar General watercolor travel like journal, how it pans out. And of course I'm going to take it on, outdoors and paint some outdoor stuff. But for today, to get this review out before the beginning of the year, because actually one person asked me about the quality of these journals, so I wanted to review it, so they can actually know for themselves, like, at least my opinion on the quality of it, because I was actually surprised by the quality of the dollar store regular watercolor paper, because water paper usually is really expensive, like, for like if even the generic, just like store brand stuff, it can be like $10 to $20 for like a 9 by 12 of like 20 sheets. And so this was like 50 sheets for like $5 of watercolor. Now at first I was like, this has the texture of like gas station paper towel, like rolls. But I really was surprised about how well it did when I painted it. And like, here's two things I've painted. Like, this was the dollar store um a watercolor paint with dollar store watercolors. It's not bad for like dollar store stuff, You can make great art with anything, as I always say, but it was better than I thought. Like, it was opaque, it was brightly pigmented. Some of the colors could be grainy, but it didn't buckle to the paper. Didn't, as thin as it felt, like it really held up. It, like, it buckles some like normal watercolor paper. But as a comparison, this is actually one of my characters. This is Izzy the Dragon Princess. But this is like Walmart paper. It's much thicker, stiffer. And this is actually the Walmart watercolors. So I was reviewing and testing it out, see how it did, like with people that can't get to art stores, and if the Walmart art supply stuff is any good. And it was pretty good. It was opaque, bright, um, and stuff like that. In case you're wondering too, the the inks I use and how I ink it, I use these zebra brush pens, and it's a set of four I have. Like that, like this, and then I use like a really large, like um, uh, a really large brush pen that's larger than even these. Like, this is a good summation. This is an Artist Loft illustration pen, so it would be like this size. I do use for the outlines, and I want to have line weight. So I use stuff comparable to this. The Artist Loft pen is not waterproof. The Zebra brush pens, they are. So that's why I prefer to use Zebra brush pens, anything that's waterproof, since I'm going to be watercoloring it. But let me get to the painting, and then I'll get back with the review. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I've gotten out my Winsor Newton. This is like student grade, but this is a higher quality watercolor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some half pans of it, of the colors I'm going to use. Little half pans, and then I'm going to let them set up and dry so I can reactivate them and use them in my pan set, because I'm going to be getting the dollar store watercolors. There is tubes, so I'll use the tubes and the cakes combined on the dollar store painting, and then on the um, Winsor and Newton, I'll just use the tubes. Do I have a Winsor and Newton? I think I might have a Winsor and Newton like travel cakes. If I do, I'll combine them. But there's no need to really, because this is pretty much going to serve the same purpose. And I'll do Rick with the Winsor and Newton, since I painted Rick before already with the dollar store watercolors. And that's all I do to make my half pans. Put the top back on and then set it aside and go from there, really. Now, I don't think I really have a flesh colored Winsor and Newton. Like usually when I use Winsor and Newton watercolors, like I'll layer down a thing of like a type of yellow, like cadmium yellow, and then I'll use like orange and like pink and purple for like shadows and stuff like that on like skin tones, and it just makes this really beautiful thing. Same with gouache, except that gouache is opaque, watercolor is translucent, of course. And I'm gonna need a white, but I don't have that much memory on my phone, so I'll finish making these half pans, and then I'll come back with some painting, and maybe I'll talk a little bit while I paint. So as I finish this one little painting on this side, once again, I'm surprised as can be how well this watercolor travel journal from Dollar General is holding up. Like, the paper is doing surprisingly well. I can't be happier. This is a quality little watercolor travel journal book for $4.50 at Dollar General. I recommend it, which is surprising. To me, at least, I guess I need to stop having preconceived notions about this kind of stuff because this is quality to me. I really enjoy the feel of the paper, its performance, its texture. Like I said, I was scared about its thinness, but I don't know how, but it really checks the box on a lot of places for me. And like I said, I cannot tell you how much that for $4.50, how surprisingly good this is. Like, I'm gonna go back to the Dollar General and I'm gonna buy a couple more of these just because I'm so into watercolors and they really mean a lot to me as a medium I work with. I'm gonna go get some more of these and I'm gonna fill them up and I'm gonna finish this next painting and then I'll finish up the review for you guys. Oh, and by the way, these watercolor paints that I'm using, these are actually from Walmart. No, I'm sorry. These are the dollar store watercolor paints. So it's dollar store watercolor paints, pan cakes, on Dollar General watercolor cakes, and Dollar General watercolor paper travel journal. So everything you're seeing here was made with dollar store stuff. So Dollar General stuff to be specific. So like I said, pretty good, man. Pretty good. Okay, so I finished it. So for a review on this book, I would have to give it an incredibly high rating for the price. It's $4.50. Um, I'm gonna give this a grade that I've only given out one other time. I, and I'm gonna give it as close to a perfect score that I've ever given anything, which is 9.5. Uh, and I'm doing everything I can not to give it a perfect 10, because like I said, for the price, $4.50, this water paper travel journal is awesome. I used Dollar General watercolors here, and um, I actually got a little bit more stuff to do, like freckles and stuff like that, but I was going to do that later because I want to get this review out. And I used more expensive watercolors here. Really, really great quality. So I'll probably end up filling in the rest of the pages and stuff like that. And I like I said, I'm absolutely shocked that this paper performed as well as it did. Now I wouldn't do like washes on it or like wet on wet, just because I would be afraid to. But I might end up trying it because, like I said, it surprised me so much that why not? I might just have preconceived notions that are holding me back. Um, so I'm gonna, like I said, give this a 9.5, and I'm struggling not to give this a perfect score. But until next time, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and that's my review of the Dollar General Watercolor Travel Journal. But thanks for watching. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. So until next video, I'll catch you on the flip side. Dante's Gamer, I'm out. Bye bye.